10 used cars under $1,000. You might wonder whether used cars for under $1,000 are possible. There are sources that manage to locate vehicles that cost under $1,000 each and are worthwhile, fascinating, or enjoyable. For today's video, we will be talking about the 10 used cars under $1,000. Interested to know what these cars are? Just keep on watching. Number 1. Fiat Panda. The Panda delivers more delight than you'd ever expect from a little city shopping cart, especially if the Fiesta drives better than it has to, and the Mini costs less than such a driver-focused car often does. And it's true that Italy has a reputation for making the most of every day, whether it be through the consumption of cappuccino and cornetti for breakfast, the idea of il dulce far niente, or the ability of the small city car to pass the Altare della Partia at almost autostrada speeds while making you feel joyful even if you're not. Number 2. MGF or TF. So far, as you might anticipate, the best of the little hatchbacks from the past. There are many selections available, with few bad ones, because they are often democratically priced from new, clearly useful, and undeniably popular items. The MGF and later the TF were democratically priced from brand new and genuinely popular. To give them their due, there is a market for a little, enjoyable, well-made roadster as the MX-5, which is granted a break from our list due to the amount of heavy lifting it likes to do, so it ably demonstrates. Not referring to a vehicle that was constructed on a shoestring budget using components from the Rover parts bin, but also a real rear drive, mid-engined roadster with double wishbone suspension up front and back. A 1.8-liter DOHC 4-cylinder with variable valve timing and a red line far above 7,000 RPM is also available if you make the proper choice. Number 3. Alfa Romeo 156. And if fortune does favor the brave, perhaps we can bravely tempt you with another compilation of premium components that we purchased and put together for pennies on the dollar. Regardless, it's obvious that Alfa went above and above with the 156 despite being forced to use a front drive base from Fiat, like finding room in the budget to include Recaro, Momo, and Brembo, like the recessed rear door handles. Before we even get to the double spark, twin cam engines, that is. Number 4. MKV Ford Fiesta. 1,000 pounds is a sizable sum, like a bar tab for example, or inside a well designated for newlyweds, or simply attempting to save up that much money for when the days get less oppressively hot and more wet. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the market for modern automobiles. After reading spares or repair and will pass MOT in the automobile advertisements for the 100 and 1,000 times, you begin to question if there is still any joy in the word cheap. Fortunately, Ford Europe has served as the great scale balancer, producing Pumas, Fiestas, and Focuses that cost no more than they ought to, drive better than they ought to, and lasted longer than you may have anticipated. And of course, it's sold as well as you could expect for a vehicle that does those feats. Number 5. Mini 1. On the other side, you could get a vehicle that wasn't exactly inexpensive, drove as well as you'd anticipate from a vehicle with a Range Rover wheelbase and a small hatch on top, and lasted as long as you had the patience to keep repairing pricey parts. The Mini likewise followed the same new-to-old depreciation curve as a pair of Calvin Klein boxer shorts, which the final statement may help to explain. And that's why the base Mini 1, which was at the time a relative bargain, is now available for $1,000 or less. Of course, there will be more, but that is not the main goal at hand. Number 6. Ford Focus. You may find used 156 at a discount. If you ought to, well, it would be a courageous choice. Even though being brave is one of the most admired aspects of the human condition, being brave usually leaves you with far more gaps than you did before. But it's not like the Focus is precisely buried in the mud. It has front-wheel drive, just like the 156, and is perhaps just as well known for being far more fun to drive than its exterior would suggest. Number 7. Renault Espace. For pieces like this, choosing something quite small, quick, and likely to shatter is something of a pattern. But what if your $1,000 needs a little extra room, or possibly an enormous quantity of space? The first minivan for extended families. The People, moreover, was the vehicle that transferred people. The Renault Espace will support the majority of a cricket team and is roughly as entertaining as a cricket podcast. And yes, Americans are aware that Dodge Caravan is made its debut in 1984 as well. It's almost as if auto creation is a collaborative process. Number 8. Mazda 2. Exactly what may be said about the Mazda 2? What can be said about the Mazda 2 that isn't a direct shot at the low-hanging fruit above the age of drivers? To put it in another way, the second generation Mazda 2 shares a platform with the 6th generation Ford Fiesta, giving you some idea of the potential you're up against. From a practical standpoint, the only difference is the insignia on the back, and the bland styling and reputation will keep you off Plod's mental radar for a lot longer than you need to have. Number 9. Jaguar XJ6. Lots of luxury, dead cows, a straight 6, all the dependability of a drag addict's promise, etc. However, this iteration of the XJ6 was the first produced while under Ford's control and came from a facility that had recently undergone a $200 million refurbishment. Jaguar produced almost 90,000 XJs in the 3 years due to its popularity, the bulk of which was powered by a significantly modified version of the tried-and-true AJ6 Straight 6. Ford and Jaguar realized that this vehicle needed to be strong enough to compete despite its deteriorating underpinnings and to hold the line until the 2003 launch of the entirely redesigned XJ. Therefore, a vehicle was created to strengthen Jaguar's fragile underpinnings and showcase Ford as a legitimate luxury player, and one that sold in droves. In our opinion, that is a good deal. Number 10. MG-ZR. 2 late-stage MGs among a group of 10 vehicles certainly implies a few things. Not that we're Elgar-pumping English apologists, but it does indicate that we're truly on a tight budget here. Obviously, MGs haven't joined the everything is worth lots of money now bandwagon, which we admire about as much as when our dog moves around on the living room floor. How about the ZR? It's an old school hot hatch from far enough back that hot has become just this side of tepid. But with a little searching, it can also be found as a 16-valve twin-cam 100 bhp pocket rocket for $1,000 or less. The price of good times rarely goes down, and if they do, it will be even tougher to face your parents afterward. So, which car caught your attention? And which car amazes you? Please let me know by leaving a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to MIA Luxury Cars for more videos like this. Thank you for stopping by to watch. See you in our next video. Bye!